that right pays off.
You're not going anywhere.
Quit sizing up your opponent and attack already. That might have done some damage, but it's still too weak to finish things off. Guess there's no such thing as a dirty fight.
Can't escape. Too slow.
That's more like it.
Can't escape.
No one said your opponent wouldn't attack from behind.
Goku. That's not it. Let's go. Get down.
Either using this as a setup for your next attack, or smart thinking. Let's hope that move pays off. Wasn't the real fight starts now. Prepare yourself. Unleash your power. Smart thinking. Let's hope that move pays off. Just because you defeated one opponent doesn't mean you've won. I guess it's worth seeing how they're going to get back into this fight. Guess there's no such thing as a dirty fight. This is the end. If you can't find holes in your enemy's defenses, then you have to make this. I'm actually quite impressed how merciless that attack was. They might have done some damage, but it's still too late to finish things off. They got knocked back from that. They're clearly losing it. I'm actually quite impressed how merciless that attack was. It's easy to get careless when your enemy's far away, isn't it? I'm actually quite impressed how merciless that attack was.
Here goes.
That didn't do enough damage to warrant giving up. Are you going to continue that strong attack together? Watch this much. It would be nice to see some sort of dramatic comeback.
Extreme.
What's with this attack? The match isn't over yet. If it were me, I'd be able to turn things around. Be the strong. Who the hell is this guy?
Here comes a mighty warrior! Time to begin the match! Are you ready? Go!
Looks like Boo's fighting to the end. So this is who's fight. I can't say I'm not interested to see what happens. It's easy to get careless when your enemy's far away, isn't it? Don't say so. No one said your opponent wouldn't attack from behind. Unacceptable. One heavy attack isn't enough to make them suffer. It's easy to get careless when your enemy's far away, isn't it? No one said your opponent wouldn't attack from behind. I guess there's no such thing as a dirty fight. The real fight starts now. Prepare yourself.
I'll show you a neat trick.
The match isn't over yet. If it were me, I'd be able to turn things around. It's easy to get careless when your enemy's far away, isn't it? If you can't find holes in your enemy's defense, then you have to make them. Do you think you're okay with this much gap between them? How naive. Smart thinking. Let's hope that move pays off.
One more time.
Unacceptable. didn't do enough damage to warrant giving up.
Think you were this strong?
That wasn't that attack.
One more time!
It's easy to get careless when your enemy's far away, isn't it? That wasn't that attack. What's so surprising about them destroying a few rocks here and there? So this is how you act after losing just one teammate? That's more like it. The match isn't over yet. If it were me, I'd be able to turn things around. Smart thinking. Let's hope that move pays off. It's such a quit holding back and hit it with all you've got. I'm actually quite impressed how merciless that attack was. A real fight starts now. Prepare yourself. No one said your opponent wouldn't attack from behind.
I guess I could school you.
You think you're okay with this much gap between you? How naive. Is Goofball winning just by playing around?
You help Boo, but Boo still hate you!
Here comes a mighty warrior! Get ready for battle! It's all or nothing! Go!
Seems Tien is fighting cool. So this is who's fun. I can't say I'm not interested to see what happens.
Out of my sight!
If you can't find holes in your enemy's defense, you have to make You got knocked back from that. They're clearly losing it. That's more like it.
Amazing!
You! It's easy to get careless when your enemy's far away, isn't it? There's no such thing as a dirty fight. Don't get too excited. I might have done some damage, but it's still too weak to finish things off. The previous battlefield was too small to contain their fight, so they moved. They seem to know when to switch in and out. But there's no such thing as a dirty fight. Smart thinking. Let's hope that move pays off. You're nothing if you can't even handle this. That's more like it. Pathetic worm. I didn't feel that. I've watched this much. It would be nice to see some sort of dramatic comeback. Just because you defeated one opponent doesn't mean you've won.
No more playing around.
There's no such thing as a dirty fight. Smart thinking. Let's hope that goes off.
Get ready.
It's easy to get careless when your enemy's far away, isn't it? They might have done some damage, but it's still too weak to finish things off. Sure, the match isn't real. starts now. Prepare yourself. This is no such thing as a dirty fight. One heavy attack isn't enough to make them suffer. That didn't do enough damage to warrant giving up. You think you're okay with this much gap between just because you defeated one opponent doesn't mean you won. I guess it's worth seeing how they're going to get back into the fight. We really are carefree if we can caught you with this kind of a lead. This is eventually going to impact the fight. At least it seems like it. This isn't all you've got, right? One heavy attack isn't enough to make them suffer. No one said your opponent wouldn't attack from behind.
You jest.
It's easy to get careless when your enemy's far away, isn't it? That's more like it. You've got time to rest, you need to train. Make sure your next fight is easy.
You're up against me now. Let's go.
Are you ready? Fight it out!
Seems Tien is fighting cool. They would do well not to embarrass themselves in this fight. They might have done some damage, but it's still too weak to finish things off. Smart thinking. Let's hope that move pays off. No one said your opponent wouldn't attack from behind. They're evenly matched. There must be some way to tip the scales. Those that only get dominated by their opponent shouldn't even enter the fight. One heavy attack isn't enough to make them suffer. No. Good one. You're choosing to switch out? More boring.
Slow.
Smart thinking. Let's hope that move pays off. It's easy to get careless when your enemy's far away, isn't it?
You fool.
Just because you defeated one opponent doesn't mean you've won. If you can't find holes in your enemy's defense, then you'll have to make them.
Oh, you go do.
Smart thinking. Let's hope that move pays off. Well, that settles it then. That didn't do enough damage to warrant giving up.
Bastard!
Well, that settles it then.
What are you doing, Chelsea?
You're willingly throwing your life away for nothing.
Why, you?
So even that fierce attack is just a warm-up?
Stands a chance against this
They got knocked back from that. They're clearly losing it. You really are carefree if you're getting caught here with this kind of a lead. No one said your opponent wouldn't attack from behind. So victory alone isn't enough for you. Just how it should be.
Just give up. You can't win. These are the results of my training.
Here comes a mighty warrior! It's time to face your opponent! Get ready! Fight it out!
Seems Tien is fighting. You'll never hear the end of it if you don't put up a good fight. How do you like this? I've been using this as a setup for their next attack. How do you like this? Nice, but don't get too excited. There you go. They seem to know when to switch in and out. Smart thinking. Let's hope that move pays off. That didn't do enough damage to warrant giving up. It's easy to get careless when the enemy's far away, isn't it? What's over here? There's no such thing as a dirty fight. They might have done some damage, but it's still too weak to finish things off. Time to see how this fight ends. You'll pay. That's more like it. They got knocked back from that. They're clearly losing it. That might have done some damage. Just because you defeated one opponent doesn't mean you won. I guess it's worth seeing how they're going to get back into the fight. I hate this place! Let's hope that move pays off.
Here goes! You fool! How's this?
Guess there's no such thing as a dirty fight. That's more like it. They're even matched. There must be some way to tip the scales. Just because you defeated one opponent doesn't mean you've won. Looks like this has turned into a somewhat decent fight. Smart thinking. Let's hope that move pays off.
Over here!
Now, what are you doing holding back from an equally strong opponent? Attack already! If you can't find holes in your enemy's defense, then you'll have to make them. I'm actually quite impressed how merciless that attack was. The real fight starts now. Prepare yourself.
I'll fight you.
Smart thinking. Let's hope that move pays off. Over here! A standard attack. The real fight starts now. Prepare yourself. That should do something. Nice, but don't get too excited.
This is power limitless? What a monster! You survived?
That's more like it.
That's nothing. You're not getting away. You're going.
Not a bad attack. But don't tell me that's all you've got. This is eventually going to impact the fight. At least it seems like.
You survived? Not gonna work
The
tight.
match isn't over yet. If it were me, I'd be able to turn things around. I've watched this much. I'm tired of just watching. Let me fight next.
Man, if I don't hurry, I'm gonna be late for the... I'm still not where I need to be. Piccolo, please train me some more.
Get ready! Go!
Seems Tien is fighting. The best way to understand is to be a part of it yourself. How do you like this? There's no such thing as a dirty fight. You're through. Don't think so. You think you're okay with this much gap between you? How naive. Heavy attacks isn't enough to make them suffer. That might have done some damage, but it's still too weak to finish things off. The real fight starts now.
That's for you.
Prepare yourself. Do this. Smart thinking. Let's hope that one pays off. No one said your opponent wouldn't attack from behind. Guess there's no such thing as a dirty fight. No one said your opponent wouldn't attack from behind. I'm actually quite impressed how merciless that attack was. So this isn't all you got, right? You clearly got knocked back from that. They're clearly losing it. That's more like it. You're nothing if you can't even handle this. The real fight starts now. Prepare yourself. I'm just getting started. Guess there's no such thing as a dirty fight. Nice, but don't get too excited. Here goes. That wasn't that. Will you continue that strong attack together? It's easy to get careless when your enemy's far away, isn't it? Over here. That wasn't that. Think you'll win it? Sizing up your opponent and attack already. If you can't find holes in the real fight starts now. Prepare yourself. There's no such thing as a dirty fight. The match isn't over yet. If it were me, I'd be able to turn things around. That's more like it. Smart thinking. The turn pays off. You think you're okay with this much damage? Either using this as the previous battlefield was too small to contain their fight, so they moved. I've watched this much, so it'd be nice to see some sort of dramatic comeback. That didn't do enough damage to warrant giving up. I'm actually quite impressed how merciless that attack was. No doubt, really does have a lot of latent power.
I guess I got a little too carried away. My apologies. It seems I overdid it a bit.
Here comes a mighty warrior! Time to begin the match! Are you ready?
Seems Tien is fighting. Learning your opponent's moves before the fight is important as well. Evenly matched. There must be some way to tip the scales. No one said your opponent wouldn't attack from behind. That should do something. I'm actually quite impressed how merciless that attack was. That's more like it. Quit sizing up your opponent and attack already. They seem to know when to switch in and out. Smart thinking. Let's hope that move pays off. Acceptable. I didn't do enough damage to warrant giving up. Quit sizing up your opponent and attack already. That should do something. Get down! Quit sizing up your opponent and attack already!
What's going on?
You fool! That's more like it. Smart thinking. Let's hope that move pays off. Well, that settles it then. I'm actually quite impressed how merciless. Just because you defeated one opponent doesn't mean you've won. Looks like this has turned into a somewhat decent fight. If you can't find holes in your enemy's defense, then you have to make them. The real fight starts now. Prepare yourself.
Watch and stop to win.
If you can't find holes in your enemy's defense, then you have to make them. Don't think so.
Not going anywhere.
It's easy to get careless when your enemy's far away, isn't it? The previous battlefield was too small to contain their fight, so they moved. Darn, it wasn't a battle. You think you're okay with this much gap between you? How naive. This is eventually going to impact the fight. At least it seems like. That might have done some damage, but it's still too weak to finish things off. One heavy attack isn't enough to make them suffer. Over here! That's more like it.
Not going anywhere.
Guess there's no such thing as a dirty fight.
It's on now.
One heavy attack isn't enough to make them suffer. The real fight starts now. Prepare yourself.
Now show you a neat trick. Over here!
The real fight starts now.
Now this!
I'm actually quite impressed how merciless that attack was. Over here! That's more like it.
Over here! Over here!
Just as expected. Too much of an experience gap between Kakarot and his opponent.
Teaming up with you is fun and all, I guess. But you know, I think I'd rather go head-to-head.
It's all or nothing! Fight it out!
Seems Tien is fighting. Hurry up and get started. There's no such thing as a dirty fight. You really are carrying me if you're getting cocky over this kind of a lead. Smart thinking. Let's hope that move pays off. Evenly matched. There must be some way to tip the scales. Well, that settles it then. One heavy attack isn't enough to make them suffer. I'm actually quite impressed how merciless that attack was. You think you're okay with this much gap between you? Guess there's no such thing as a dirty fight. If you can't find holes in your enemy's defense, then you have to make them. Don't think so. Quit sizing up your opponent and attack already. That wasn't a battle. No one said your opponent wouldn't attack from behind. The real fight starts now. Prepare yourself.
Okay, how about?
Guess there's no such thing as a dirty fight.
One more time!
If you can't find holes in your enemy's defense, then you have to make them. The match just might be over.
Like that? All right!
What are you doing holding back from an equally strong opponent? Already. If you can't find holes in your enemy's defense, then you have to make them. Those that only get dominated by their opponent shouldn't even enter the fight.
Saw that one. Yeah.
You really are carefree if you're getting cocky over this kind of a lead.
When a tie, get out of the way.
Quit sizing up your opponent and attack already. Just because you defeated one opponent doesn't mean you won. You're in for some real trouble if you're getting cocky over this.
One more time!
Smart thinking. Let's hope that move pays off.
I've been saving
Watch this much. So it would be nice to see some sort of dramatic comeback. That's more like it.
your turn!
If you can't find holes in your enemy's defense, then you have to make them.
Now this! All right!
What are you doing? I'm tired of just watching. Let me fight next.
Man, Yamcha, you really need... Just you wait. I'll be stronger the next time we fight.